A great time to grow up on Tyneside, especially when the champions come calling.
The way we've been playing at home, there's no reason why we can't catch them.
We're the best team in the country, defending champions, top of the table. It's a tough game, but we can win.
We need to win this. 6 points to really get this, and we're away.
January was a marvellous month. So Bobby's side in touch with the leaders, but lose this one and 11 points would look unbridgeable. Win, and who knows? As Alan Shearer sent David Seaman scrambling, optimism soared. Newcastle seeking to make it a dozen successive league wins at St James's. But it took Nobby Solano and the bar to stop them falling behind. Patrick Vieira's header the first reminder Arsenal are no ordinary opposition. Those red shirts can fill a team with fear. Only an extraordinary stop from Shay Given saved Titus Bramble from a toe-curling own goal. So Bobby joked afterwards, that's why we have heading practice. But it was only a reprieve, the champions really motoring. Almost inevitably, Thierry Henry, the man who slipped between defenders to put the title pretenders in their place. No Newcastle heads dropped. The team emerged hungry for the second half. Laurent Robert went in solo search of an equaliser. A wonderful strike. That was sweet, which made the Frenchman's next 5 minutes all the more bitter. First, he chopped down Laurent for a yellow card, and then the game's big talking point. Did Robert delay Bergkamp deliberately, or did the Dutchman just make it look that way? Neil Barry applied the law to the letter. Now you'd have thought Newcastle would be earmarked for demolition, but this was a rare side of goal for the champions. Arsenal didn't find the depleted side any easier to break open. United were showing they do deserve to be taken seriously in the title race, albeit as outsiders. If Craig Bellamy's effort in the dying seconds had deceived Seaman, as those looping long rangers have in the past, they'd be piling pressure on. At the finish, the manager's fury over the sending off subsided just enough to become chief cheerleader. Pride, passion, that's Newcastle.
Laurent got us on level terms with a special goal. He's on a high, he might be a match winner, and then of course he got a send-off, and I think that's pretty harsh. I think the referee could have handled that in another way, but he wasn't interested in it. And I always think this, that the best law of the game is common sense. I think on that incident, the referee didn't show, just on that incident, I'm not talking about his general performance, but on that incident, I just didn't think he showed common sense to the player.
The sending off, your view of that?
Well, it's part of the referee, but having seen it again, I don't think he had a lot of choice.
I think I waited 3 times before I could kick the ball to let him get out of the way, but he didn't want to go out of the way yet, and I see Thierry running all by himself, so I want to give the pass. It's not my fault.
There was nobody to play the boss to. He just kicked the ball against the player. There was an incident last week in Scotland where the referee actually took the name of the guy who kicked the ball against the player for ungentlemanly conduct, unsporting behaviour. And I think Bergkamp got away with it. And I lost the player. That's why I'm angry.
Clearly incensed after the game, Sir Bobby. In 2 cracking games yesterday, let's deal with events and an eventful 90 minutes at St James's Park first, Robbie. Laurent Robert, I guess hero and to some extent villain, depending on your point of view.
Yeah, pretty much, and I feel he got suckered in a little bit by Dennis Bergkamp, but we did see the wonderful ability that he does have. Pretty much, you know, as a left-sided player, he drifts in field, and we have seen him do this at times, run at people, and it's a clever strike past David Seaman. I mean, he doesn't actually hit it full force, but then this is the foul, the first foul on
a couple of minutes later, eh?
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad foul in itself. Yeah. Deservedly of a yellow card, although maybe he doesn't quite think so. Then we'll see that he obstructs Dennis Bergkamp in playing the ball. As the ball comes in here, we'll see he gets hold of Bergkamp, wants to stop the play. Fair enough, that's a foul you have to commit. Dennis shows him twice that he's looking to play the ball down the line, and look after, he still fires the ball at Laurent in the full-back position. I mean, he doesn't do himself any favours. If he's got half a chance with the block, if you fire the ball after, we'll see it again, he stops Bergkamp. That's good play, in fairness.
Yeah.
Now we'll see Thierry Henry has made a run from the central position. Dennis is trying to play him in.
A couple of times?
At least a couple of times.
See, I'm not sure he was going to book him for sticking his foot out.
I think you're right.
But here's Henry. This is a run. This is the key to it, where I think Bobby gets it wrong. He's trying to play Thierry Henry in.
He wasn't. He's walking over, and then when he lashes it, he puts his right hand into his pocket. Yeah. I'm not sure he was going to book him for sticking his foot out.
Well, we'll never know what the yellow may or may not have been coming for, but he's given the referee not a lot of choice in the end.
Laurent Robert is the villain
Absolutely.
Not the referee.
No.
Because I've said it before, Barry was right. Neil Barry. And not Dennis Bergkamp, by the way.
Yeah, we say that every week.
Do you?
Yeah, mostly when you're not here. And now, Andy, no blame to Dennis Bergkamp.
None at
just
all.
a professional trying to play the game?
None at all. Every one of us would have done exactly the same. If you've got someone like Henry you can find with a pass that late in the game, you do it. Laurent Robert made no attempt to back off. If he's standing there with his... He could have been cute if he'd have put his back to Dennis Bergkamp, but knowing that he's blocking him, it's different. He made no attempt to back off, and I think you can't apportion any blame to Dennis Bergkamp at all. The referee, 100% right.
Of course, in the passion and extremities, if you like, of the last few minutes, immediately after that, Bergkamp nearly had the ultimate irony of nicking the winner and then got an awful lot of stick for coming off, in your view, I guess, undeserved.
Absolutely. I mean, that would have been hard to take. I don't know if he'd have got out there in a hurry after the game if he'd have scored. But, no, I personally don't find any reason to blame Bergkamp. This was the chance he had. Henry, that great run in the left channel, whips it across to the far side. It's cut back to Bergkamp there, and Andy O'Brien makes a really good block. It's a heck of a good block. And then, of course, when Dennis eventually got subbed for Jeffers a few minutes later, he received some dog's abuse on the way off, which I don't
Not just from the crowd either. Bobby wasn't too chuffed.
He wasn't. I mean, at this point, I think you could perhaps understand Sir Bobby, having probably only seen it from that side of the ground. He might have had reason to feel a little bit miffed about the whole situation.
He's seen it all, Andy, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know.
Look at that.
But with I'm sure now, Sir Bobby, a day later, having watched it again and again, I'm sure he'll realise that his own player was very much in the wrong.
So essentially, as far as the panel's concerned, justice done.
Yeah,
definitely. Oh yeah, the referee has to make those decisions, and if he doesn't, he actually gets in trouble himself with an assessor sitting in the stand saying you should have booked him a second yellow, should have been off if he stayed on the pitch.
Bobby's got his black and white glasses on.
I'm glad you said that.
As from a northeaster, that probably rings truer than most. We did, however, from a positive point of view, from Newcastle's point of view, it was a good point in the end.
Yeah.
And partly down to one of the saves of the season, certainly unorthodox save of the season from Shay Given.
Well, Shay
Don't see
Given,
many headed saves.
He's not the biggest, is he? We know he's nimble, we know he's agile, he is lively on his feet, and he had to be. I mean, Arsenal's in again, and it's a good ball that comes in. Titus Bramwell's got it. But what about that? Why didn't he use his hands? Simply because he didn't have the time. He's up there. He's up there with his head. You want him on your head tennis team, by the way.
It's a brilliant reaction, isn't it?
Unbelievable
reaction.
Actually,
He deflects the ball over the crossbar. He knows it's
fantastic.
brilliant.
Tremendous. But Shay Given's pretty impressive all the same. To event at Old Trafford then, and do regain third spot and do still now have a game in hand on those around them, but the top four are still the top four. 57 Arsenal, 54 United, 49 Newcastle and 48 Chelsea.